Well, hello, my name is Christopher Scott, and I'm a small groups pastor of a local church. And in this video, I want to give you a 5-minute introduction to the magnificent and amazing book of Colossians written by Paul, okay? So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about 6 things, give you 6 introductions to the book. I'm going to talk about the author of the book, the audience he was writing to, the date the book was written. I'm going to give you an outline of the book, a key verse, and a key theme of the book to introduce this book to you, okay? So the author of the book of Colossians is the Apostle Paul, okay? The Apostle Paul. Our New Testament, our Bible, the New Testament has 27 books in it. 13 of those books were written by Paul, and 5 of those 13 books that he wrote were written from prison while Paul was in prison in Rome from 61 to 65 AD, roughly in there. He was probably in prison for 2 years, somewhere between 61 and 65 AD, okay? So there's 27 books, 13 were written by Paul, 5 of those he wrote from prison, and those prison letters are Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, Philemon, and 2 Timothy. 2 Timothy being the very last one that he probably wrote from prison, okay? And so that's a little background to the author of the book. It's the Apostle Paul. The audience that he was writing to were the believers in the city of Colossae. Okay, the believers in the city of Colossae. And it's interesting, he writes a letter to believers in Colossae because the city of Colossae is not mentioned in the book of Acts as a place that Paul and Peter ever went. So we think that Paul probably never even met these people. Maybe he knew some people there, but someone else likely started this church and planted the church there. And Paul knew some of the people there and wrote them a letter that he wanted them to read and them to pass on to another city, Laodicea. He wanted them to pass on, okay? So the believers in Colossae is who he was writing to. The date he likely wrote this letter was sometime between 61 and 65 AD while he was in prison in Rome. I'm going to give you a little historical background. Jesus likely died, resurrected, and went to heaven between like 30 and 36 AD, roughly. 30 to 36 AD. Paul wrote this letter between 61 and 65 AD. The last book of the Bible, the book of Revelation, was written by John in 95 AD. So that gives you a little historical reference, 30 to 36, 61 to 65, 95 AD is when John likely wrote the book of Revelation, right? So during this time, the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, and Luke likely were also being written. There was a couple other New Testament letters that were already circulating. For sure, we know Galatians and James were letters that were already being circulated and sent around, okay? So that's the date of the book and when it was written. Next, I want to give you an outline of the book of Galatians, and I'm taking this outline from Warren Wiersbe's commentary, Be Complete, which is his commentary on the book of Colossians, right? And Wiersbe outlines the book into 3 different sections, okay? 3 different sections. He talks about chapter 1 is doctrine, chapter 2 is duty, chapter 2 is danger, chapter 3 and 4 are duty, okay? So let's talk about doctrine first. First chapter of Colossians talks about doctrine, and it's Christ's preeminence declared. Christ's preeminence declared in chapter 1. Chapter 2, it talks about danger, and that's Christ's preeminence defended, okay? Christ's preeminence defended. And then chapters 3 and 4 talk about duty. Christ's preeminence demonstrated specifically in the lives of believers when we act like Christ and are kind and love one another, okay? So doctrine, danger, and duty is how Wiersbe outlines this book. A key verse of the book likely is Colossians 1:18. As I flip there, Colossians 1:18 is a good key verse according to Warren Wiersbe. Colossians 1:18, I'm reading from the New Living Translation, says, Christ is also the head of the church, which is his body. He is the beginning, supreme over all who rise from the dead. So he is first in everything, okay? And that talks about the key theme, right? That Christ is preeminent. Jesus Christ is preeminent. What does the word preeminent mean? It means something that surpasses all others, right? Something that surpasses all others, or something that is very distinguished in some way. And Christ is preeminent and better and more magnificent and amazing than anything and anyone else in the world that has ever existed. And that's the key theme here in the book of Colossians, is that Jesus Christ is preeminent. He is all that matters, okay? So that's a brief introduction to the book of Colossians, talking to you about that. I have a blog post I'll put down below where it talks about in Colossians 1 how it's some translations will say Jesus Christ is the firstborn Son of God, right? So that's interesting. What does it mean to be the firstborn Son of God? Well, really what it means is that Jesus Christ gets the inheritance of God the Father, that they are equal family members, they're the Trinity, and he gets the inheritance and has the rights of God just as God the Father has, right? It doesn't mean that Jesus at one point was created or he was a created being or there was a time when Jesus didn't exist. We know that Jesus has existed for all times, forever with God the Father, and that he was with God the Father when the world was created, right? So I'll list that blog post down there that gives some more specific details there. So thanks for watching. I hope this video was helpful for you to learn a little bit about the book of Colossians. If you want to study the book of Colossians, maybe with your small group, I recommend the Warren Wiersbe Bible Study Guide, titled Become the Whole Person You Were Meant to Be, and then the commentary that comes with it, Be Complete. I got links to both these books down below on Amazon. They are affiliate links, so if you buy something, I do get a small commission, or you can try to find the books at your local bookstore as well. So if you want to subscribe to my channel and get updates on future videos, you can subscribe up there. If you want to learn how to use the Warren Wiersbe Bible Study Guide to facilitate a small group, I got that video link up there. If you want to find other 5-minute introductions to other books of the Bible, I got those links over there. If you want some small group facilitator tips, I got some of those videos over there. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again soon in another video.